What is up, For Honor brothers and sisters? In this one, I continue the breakdown of these For Honor hero classes. In this case, it is the Assassins, as I try to help you find the next hero you try or possibly discover something interesting about that will help you have a more fun experience in the game, and in some rare team matches, even domination. So in its current state, For Honor has 7 Assassins: Peacekeeper, Gladiator, Berserker, Shaman, Orochi, Shinobi, and Nuxia. The Assassins are another case where they may have a couple of similarities based on their type. However, they each have a pretty distinctive personality that makes figuring out which hero fits your style a little easier to detect. Let's start with Peacekeeper. Peacekeeper is a member of the Knight faction. Most Assassins are agile and quick, but PK is smooth with the deflex, creating a satisfying animation and seamless continuation of attack. This hero is very adept at darting into combat, catching you off guard, and taking out your kidneys, which escalates her attack even more. There are multiple fashion options that allow for face reveal or not. The hero is gender locked. However, with the release of the Ezio Assassin's Creed skin, you can now play the Assassin as a male. That was a nice little switch up that they did in For Honor recently. It is one of the top tier hero skins in the game, based on the voiceovers, the mocap, and everything they did to make it stand out from the rest. It was a welcome addition. Initially, PK doesn't feel dangerous. However, she becomes a horror show when you begin to bleed. The hero doesn't need to inflict the bleed herself to be dangerous. If an opponent is bleeding, her heavy and zone finishers are unblockable, and that's a dangerous combo. Think you can run away? Nope. She can chase you down with dodge heavy attack, and she possesses a feat where she is hidden on the map and can sneak up on you to get her bleed started to unleash the terror. What really helps get her bleed going is the dagger cancel. Throw a side heavy and you can soft feint into a top light. PK has a side dodge heavy as well to help her maneuver and keep enemies on their toes. Her kit is not built the best to tank and anti-gank, so don't get too carried away in team fights. PK can also stop stabbing and kick the enemy into a wall or object to perform her dodge heavy attack. It's a good little follow-up there that they made sure she can complete with one of our recent changes. Another bleed starter is performing a light attack immediately after your heavy. Just use your advantages and remember who you are, a dangerous stab general, so lead that charge onto the battlefield. In team fights, PK is not threatening if externally attacking. I'm just being honest there. So if you are this hero, try not to feed the opponent just to get a little chip damage. Where she can be effective is if she catches someone after a finisher with a guard break in an early moment in the team fight. That way she can apply her bleed. Another way to apply bleed is to use her tier 3 crossbow. Teammates like Nobushi, Warmonger, Shaman can also assist by poking, clawing, or stabbing an opponent to get them bleeding to help PK Hulk out. PK can be used as a stealthy hero, stalking the battlefield in dom matches, waiting to pounce. If you're a duelist, she is a fun 1v1 hero to use as well. If you want to try a new assassin and any of this seems enjoyable or appealing to you, go take PK out and paint the battlefield red. Next, we'll talk about Gladiator. Gladiator is a member of the Knight faction, and this hero stands out amongst the other Knights because he's so swift, agile, and like a smooth flowing current as he leaps and glides across the battlefield. Most will talk about his affinity for toes. Y'all know y'all like to focus on that. However, it is a unique characteristic that may draw you to this hero, right? Gladiator is also not gender locked, just FYI. For his moveset, I say his moveset, his or her moveset, Glad has a diverse kit, and it includes a pinning unblockable that bleeds, dodge bash, and light attacks keep opponents on their toes. And those same toes will be attacked, often for personal and team reasons. I did not mean to do a pun with that. If you want to spam lights, this hero is for you, since he has like the only 4 light chain that is sure to annoy many, especially those that cannot block. But make sure you throw a heavy out just to break up the monotony, because somebody gonna parry your butt. I'm just letting you know. Some of his team fight benefits. Have we mentioned the toes yet? So Glad has 2 great tools to help teammates in battle. The hero can use his toe stab to set up teammate attacks. There is always an threatening unblockable that you gotta be aware of. Being the show off that he is, you can also come off the screen with bamboozle and possibly help a teammate out, or just embarrass your opponent that just got hit by that, because really, you really shouldn't be hit by bamboozle very often. It's just one of those moves they kind of throw in there. Probably thought it would be kind of cool. I don't see many Glads even get away with it. But Glad has a tier 2 feat that allows him to take advantage of all his bashes, providing you some small damage. That's the bonus there. You can amplify that damage with his roar feat. You can also zone your way through a crowd, and the best part, it's feintable. And he also has that forward dodge bash, in case I didn't mention that. So if you like to put on a show while playing, then grab Glad and prepare for those roses to drop. So the next hero we're going to talk about is Berserker. So Berserker or Zerk is part of the Viking faction. It is a perfect name for an absolutely fierce hero. Think of Zerk as an assassin tank, because if you think your puny freaking light is going to slow this hero down, you'll be getting your head chopped off in no time. I guarantee it, so don't even do it. I personally enjoy watching Zerks going to work, as long as it's not on me, of course. I think you need to be a little more creative with Zerk's fashion. I don't think it's the best, but there's some pretty snazzy looking Zerks out there, I'd just like to say. And Zerk is not gender locked. Now for his moveset, he's got a fun moveset that encourages feigning. Once you feint, the next attack will be uninterruptible. Zerk has a top unblockable, a sprawling side dodge light attacks that are enhanced and allow him to continue attacking. His deflect offers him a guard break opportunity, which is unique, especially from the bleed and bash attempts other assassins can attempt after deflecting. He has to have probably the most scary chase I've seen. Sometimes coming across the map, it feels like sometimes. You think you're safe and next thing you know, he's right on top of you. Some of his teamfight benefits is really switching targets on that side dodge light to go into additional attacks that are heavily utilized in teamfights. Constantly see Berserkers and Zerks use that. His feat's consistent with the hero's playstyle, no opener, so the feint to uninterruptible needs to be utilized effectively. And if you're ever in a freaking mood to just go in, let some steam off, choose the controlled Psycho Zerk and have a blast. Eventually you'll learn how to control the urges against better players, but sometimes you just, who the freak cares? Just let it fly. Now let's get into Shaman. So Shaman is part of the Viking faction. This is one of the heroes that if I saw in real life, I think I would just turn around and run from. She's a terrifying assassin that wants you to bleed so she can feed. She has many ways to get you to bleed, and there's a rugged enjoyment you hear as she attacks. I mean, this hero is gender locked as well. Now for her moveset, similar to PK, Shaman can soft feint her heavy attacks into bleed, but she can do it in any direction. She is one of the few heroes I really recommend players that are interested in using her. Please use the hero tactics that's available to her first. There is more to her than just being a savage ticking time bomb. There's plenty of potential, and I view her as having a high skill ceiling. And only a few shamans that I've ever run into have been able to pull that off. If you master her, I would understand if you found other assassins less challenging, to be honest. If your opponent is bleeding, she's able to pounce. If the opponent is not bleeding, you can still leap in and bash. She has that ability to do her heavy attack and continue attacking after that, so she can jump on you, and it's just non-stop. She'll stay right on you, and a lot of times she has frame advantage. So her team fight benefit, if she smells blood, it's important that teammates allow her to pounce and not interrupt. Do not interrupt her pounce. It benefits all of you. Trust me. Just leave her alone. Let her eat. Shamans are constantly reminded that she's smarter than people may give her credit for because teammates ruining her pounce. It's so annoying. She's capable of being an asset without her bleed by ledging with her bash, threatening with an unblockable, and an above average throw radius from the guard break that can put the enemy in harm's way of teammates or just throw them off a cliff. So if you're looking for an assassin that likes to sink their teeth into their opponent, Shaman is a can't miss choice. Alright, so now let's get into Orochi. So Orochi is part of the Samurai faction. A Master Shredder hero skin would be so good for Orochi. I hate that I'm really kind of going off topic right here, but that would be so awesome for Orochi. But moving on. So Orochi likes to pepper you with like athletic attacks of kicks leading to confirmed attacks and attack-based retreats that helps him spring back into action. Orochi's mobility is an asset that shouldn't be underused, and this hero is not gender locked for those that are curious. So about his moveset: attacking, dodge canceling, bashing, nail bombing, and emoting are staples of an Orochi assault. Enemies really feel his deflex with this slightly delayed reaction before a katana pierces their guts. Confirmed double light on initial light gets Orochi on to a top unblockable attack that puts the pressure of choice on his opponents, and the undodgeable dodge light is a nuisance in team fights. And Orochi as a whole will keep you occupied. He's like a gnat in a picnic, because you'll try to be focused on him and next thing you know, he's focused on your teammate. You just can't, it's hard to get rid of him. Shinobi's very similar in that way. Now we'll talk about him soon. Now on to the team fight benefits of Orochi. Orochi is a solid 1v1 and a bothersome for opponents in team fights. His debuff feats or nail bomb can change the tide on a point in a second, and a well-placed one can halt the enemy's advancements. Darting in between targets helps him shine and forces enemies to keep a side eye on the Orochi. I know I do. More time focused on Orochi means less time focused on another target, and that's job done. So if you're looking for an active hero with a cocky flair and does have humility under the right care, this is the hero for you. Alright, next we'll talk about Shinobi. Shinobi is part of the Samurai faction, a hero that is built to be in perpetual motion. Sharp, quick attacks that set up the next attack is what Shinobi is all about. So don't think Shinobi is escaping the fight once they flip after an attack, because they'll be right back in your face and potentially disfiguring it if you do. He's always in the fray and capable of transitioning more quickly around the map than other heroes. Shinobi's a very fun choice if you're being constantly active and part of the action is your thing. And this hero is not gender locked, even though you guys hear me say he. I say he because I usually do choose the male character of these heroes. It's just by preference. Now, when we're talking about Shinobi's moveset, he has plenty of tools to make use of. He has unblockables and dodgeables, multiple types of kick bashes, a deflect that you can get automatic damage on execution, but then sets up offense, or to bait an opponent to continue on the offensive. The pin off of Shinobi's unblockable, known as Sickle Rain, is a demoralizing feeling, as opponents not only wait for Shinobi to finish slicing them up, but then can expect a nice heavy from one of his teammates to follow up, if they're in range, I'm saying. So his team fight benefit is exactly what I was saying. If you like the gank, you'll like Shinobi. The hero sets up ganks on a platter for other players to take advantage of. And this makes him a constant danger in any team fight, and with his quick and shifty movements, you gotta be on high alert. And he uses his super sprinting and double dodging, and he can just be lurking around, but either way, you gotta be alert when Shinobi's around. So if you're looking for hyperactivity with plenty of options and a high skill ceiling to engage and counter, then pick up Shinobi. Now, the last assassin we're gonna discuss in this video is Nuxia. So Nuxia is part of the Wulin faction. She's a nimble and graceful assassin. Nuxia enjoys having a little performance with her takedowns. She puts on a show. Her trap ability is unique to only her in the game and will make any player that wants to have a staring contest get active. Her traps serve as her opener, and if the opponent guesses wrong, they quickly become part of her show. Nuxia is a gender-locked hero for those that are curious. Now, part of Nuxia's moveset, let's talk about her moveset a little bit. Nuxia is an assassin who works better in 1v1 situations. Let's just go ahead. Even her feats kind of go that direction. I'll kind of get into that. So she's not for anti-ganking, but by definition, by the devs, she is an isolator. So keep that in mind. Her feats work off of that definition nicely though. She can trap off of heavies at any time, openers or finishers, and she can use them on her zone attack. The zone attack can be feinted also. Her showy deflect places her in position to attempt to keep the pressure on and causes her opponents to always be on alert. Now, her team fight, she does have some team fight benefits, and we're going to cover them here. So Nuxia's call traps work well for mid lane, but be careful because they do hurt your teammates as well as the enemy. If you see a teammate in trouble and in danger of losing a zone, you need to be using Nuxia's Corruption tier 4, because that's going to help separate them, giving your teammate a chance in a 1v1 situation while she engages as necessary. If you like duels and prefer to keep things that way as much as possible while playing 4s, give Nuxia a try. She's also worthy of using just because completing a trap has a good gotcha feel, even if it doesn't last that long. It's just a good feeling, and it's just a unique ability that no hero has as far as the traps are concerned. So that concludes the assassins in For Honor at this time. Hope you're able to better decipher what fits you and why to make the game more enjoyable for you. So which assassin is your favorite and why? I would love to hear your thoughts on For Honor's assassin options in the comments. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, peace.